His face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light.
Hey, what's up guys? Gons here for the Face Like the Sun channel. I wanted to share a short clip with you from a book that has nothing to do with Bible prophecy or conspiracies or anything like that. This is actually a book titled Brain Rules for Baby by John Medina. He's a neuroscientist, and he shares a little anecdotal story related to technology, the internet, and how it's shaping human behavior, especially in the youth. So let me play this little clip for you, and I'll comment afterwards. Check this out.
A 9-year-old girl decided to invite 5 or 6 of her closest friends to her very first slumber party. The girl's mother, a sociologist by training, was delighted. She remembered her own experiences with sleepovers, and she anticipated non-stop talking, pillow fights, whispering secrets in the dark, and too much noise at 2 a.m. That never happened. As her daughter's friends gathered together, Mom immediately noticed things that set her sociologist's spidey instincts tingling. The discourse between the girls seemed not like that of typical 9-year-olds, whose social exchanges can be surprisingly sophisticated, but more emotionally immature, like 4-year-olds. The culprit appeared to be the girls' consistent misreading and misinterpreting of each other's nonverbal cues. Mom also saw that within 30 minutes of the start of the party, 5 of the 6 girls had pulled out their cell phones. They were busily texting friends who weren't there, taking pictures and sending them off. This continued throughout the day. Deep into the night, around 2 a.m., everything was absolutely still. Mom snuck upstairs to make sure everything was okay. Half the girls had gone to sleep. The other half were still on their cell phones, little screens glowing underneath the sheets. Could the texting be related to the social immaturity? It's not a trivial issue. The average youngster in 2008 sent and received 2,272 texts per month, about 80 a day. By 2009, 20% of the words they encountered came directly from a computer. Anything wrong with that? Nobody really knows yet. What we can say has to do with the inherent nature of the medium itself. The internet and associated media encourage private consumption. This leads to the odd condition, as the slumber party illustrates, that even when we're together, we're often far apart. Unless all of our digital interactions involve a video camera, kids won't get much practice interpreting nonverbal cues. That's the world autistic kids live in, by the way.
Now again, this book doesn't have anything to do with conspiracies or the New World Order or anything like that. Yet, the science is showing that the impaired social behavior, social interaction that is caused by technology has to be by design, if not by the elites, then definitely by the spiritual force of wickedness. And the fact that even science can see that there is a problem here is pretty telling. Now, he admits that there's not that much research in this area, but he goes into how the average kid in 2009, which is almost 10 years ago, texted almost 3,000 texts a month, and that 20% of their verbal communication was done through text. And removing that face-to-face element is stunting the growth of people, especially this generation. And there are ways to raise your child or raise family to avoid this kind of thing, and there's good tips in the book about that. But I found it very interesting that at the end there, he says that the level at which these kids operate is at the level of autism, and that's striking. And it starts to make sense as to why we are seeing publicly a psychologically damaged generation. You know, a lot of you guys that watch this channel believe that technology itself was a gift from the fallen watchers, and I tend to agree with that based on some of the things we learned about Enoch, based on the comparative literature that we find in Genesis 4 with the line of Cain and the city of Enoch that Cain built and the civilization that came from it. Where did they learn all that stuff? Obviously, it came from the fallen watchers. And just as Jesus said, we are back in the days of Noah, which means that kind of technology is maybe not the same the way it looks, but definitely the impact perhaps the power it possesses on one hand, but then the utter distraction, the utter decay in our basic human functions indicates to me that this is influenced by non-human intelligences. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was interesting. It comes from a neuroscientist, which goes to show that even the most scientific folks can't get away from presuppositions of objective moral values and duties, which can be argued for the existence of God. And actually, I don't know if John Medina, this author of the book, is a Christian or a believer in God, or I have no clue. All I know is that he's a neuroscientist and he has great concerns for this generation, especially those who are inundated with technology. So it's not just about abandoning it, it's about creating an atmosphere where you're still interacting with your child or with someone else to not isolate. And it's hard to do. And I've noticed myself do it even within my own family. Even if I'm doing work, it becomes an isolating thing. So I just think it's important to have family time, have go outside time, or have time to do things off of technology. And I certainly can do a better job with that. But things go deeper because the level of security and the level of information that you're giving up to corporations and companies is astounding. And part of my mission for Age of Deceit 3 is to really get Christians to understand, the church at large, how to deal with this new cyber age, because cyber warfare is an extension of spiritual warfare. And I'm going to flush that out in the film. I got a couple people to agree to be featured guests for the documentary, which I'm really excited about. I'm not going to announce who they are yet. Not huge names or anything like that, but they're really, really good researchers, good authors, and I'm excited about that. So definitely keep me in prayer for that, guys. But again, I just wanted to share this clip with you. I'll leave links in the description section to the book if you guys want to get it on Audible or whatever. I don't agree with everything that's in the book. Obviously, as a neuroscientist, he seems to have a background that upholds this theory of evolution, but he doesn't really get into that. He'll just mention a couple times, that because of evolution, blah, blah, blah. And those arguments aren't really arguments from science. It's arguments from indoctrination. But in any case, otherwise, he does have really great tips on basic brain rules for baby. But in any case, let me know what you guys think. Have an awesome day, guys.